Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. This is episode number 11. So, following the update that has seen the balancing reworked, meaning we're finding things tougher now, I went ahead and accepted a wildcard invite to a juniors 300 level tournament, realizing that, hey, we're not invincible any longer. Therefore, the number one ranked junior player is not seeded for this tournament, as we got the wild card instead. And then we actually ended up with, well, a fairly difficult draw, all things considered. Number 27 player, of course, they are going to feel awful about their particular draw, but we're not guaranteed to win this thing. And so basically, we're picking up from a fairly challenging spot. And this is no longer a guarantee. So let's see how this match goes. We are considered balanced, and this feels more realistic. I mean, we're up against the 26th ranked junior, 17-year-old, as ourselves being, 14, 15 years old now. This feels like the right place for our player at this point in time. And I feel like this is a match that could go either direction, but as it's the first round, we are going to simulate. And we're out 2-6-3-6. I think there was a further update on the balancing that nerfed it even just a little bit more, because it still seemed like you were a little more likely to pick up wins when you shouldn't. But losing here in a balanced match, I mean, we lost 2-6-3-6, feels about right. She hit more winners than we did. And that's realistic, right? 19 unforced errors, 26 winners. That feels about right for a player who can move across the court left to right a lot because we are athletic, meaning she didn't hit a ton of winners against us, but she played more consistently than we did. And why should that be? Because technically, Uni's not that gifted. I like it. It's a good outcome. Uni, by the way, is now a 2-star player with that 4 to 5-star range potential, so she is looking like a fantastic prospect, could be a worldie, but right now is a 2-star player. Finally, playing like a 2-star player. So I'm really happy with that. And checking in on the base attributes, you can see physically everything's 13s, 15s outside of the stamina, which can and will continue to be a focus short term to develop and bring that up. But it's not my sole focus. I'm not going to commit everything to just getting that stamina up. Over time, I will get maybe one session a week focused on stamina. Mental is the short term one. I want to get that positioning up, as that's the only one not yet to a 13. We're almost there though, so that's going to happen here quite soon. That has been the short term focus for a little while anyway, but it was a 9 or a 10 when I started that focus. And then we're going to be ready to start focusing on those technical attributes, which we have one so far in the happy zone of a 13 plus. I like that green color. it's my favorite color, but it's I don't know, it's my little OCD thing. I don't have it bad, but I have it a little bit, and for me it's just enough. It's that 13 plus, 13 plus, 13 plus, everything. Got to push it all to 13 plus, and then you could start taking off and becoming one of the best in the world in specific sets. But we got to get out of that red too for those hot shots. But I think that's going to happen pretty organically without doing anything major. Very, very little training is necessary to make that happen. I think it was a 1 when we started, so it being at a 3 is totally fine. And yes, we are still 14 years of age. Rankings way too high, probably going to drop down a little bit. Could run into problems. Morale's going to take a bit of a dip. The contract satisfaction is all going to take a bit of a dip, as we're not going to be as good anymore. So hopefully this shock does not suddenly turn into losing Uni, who is in the final year of her. Oh, no. We still have another full year to go. But still could run into issues with with the satisfaction, and it is possible to lose our primary player. I'm now recognizing that there's been some other balancing taking place as well. Physical condition and shape are both being impacted now, more so than before. So I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on my training regimen to keep Uni fit for tournaments, which we're entering one now in pretty poor shape. In the short term, I can definitely see our ranking falling as opposed to stabilizing, as with that balancing now in place. We enter this tournament as a 3 seed. It's a 115 pro tournament. Wish me luck. I mean, even against this wild card who's a couple hundred spots below me in the rankings, now that things have been adjusted, I'm not sure we're going to be the favorite for this one. Oh, talk about close call. The first set, 7-6, beating her with an 11 in the tiebreaker. I mean, that's really going the distance. And then we lose an ultra close second set, 5-7. And then we lose the third set as well, again in the tiebreaker. This time we go down with less of a fight than she gave us in the first set. But that is as close as you can get. Now, that to me says there's our appropriate ranking, somewhere between 350 and 400. Now we know where we stand with the balancing adjusted. We're not beating the number 20 player in the world any longer. Now we are losing to a player just inside the top 400. Talk about a massive difference in scale, but okay. Aces, four double faults. I'm not good in service. This is the first time we've actually seen that play out as, hey, by the way, you're not good as a server. Yes, okay. Things are looking pretty appropriate. Total winners? We certainly hit some. I mean, look how close that is. This is... it's good to see. It's good to see. Close matches were just not a thing in the past. They are now. Well, that certainly doesn't help anything. Moderate injury, tendinitis in the elbow, a week or two to recover from this one. Not the greatest return we're going to see, but the business center is my obvious focus here early on. We really want to pick it up as much as possible. Upgrading the stores to level 3. It only rakes in kind of a net, like what, 22,000 at the cost of 380 and takes 3 months. Yeah, not great. Likewise, that recreational pool doesn't have a big return on it either. I mean, we're talking tiny, 2,000 extra. So minor, but I just want to get this thing kind of done, checked off the list. So let's check it off the list. New month, continuing the financial focus as much as we can here in the early stages of the series. So cold therapy room, we already brought it up to level 1. Level 2 is going to add another 43k for less than 400k. That's a really solid return. Yes, the expenses go up by 13k, but it's a clear, plus the injury duration reduction bonus added to that one, so you'll take that for sure. Another minor women's tour event, and we actually come in as the 1 seed on this one. But again, you don't necessarily like our chances against most players these days, as we have been in terrible form since the adjustment has taken place. I mean, we've lost more matches in the last 5 than we had in the previous almost entirety of the series. I mean, big difference. Well, anyway, high serve intensity, considered balanced against a player just outside of the top 500. That's a pretty big difference. How we looking? Wow. We come out on top, but barely 7-5, 7-6. Second round is against somebody just inside that top 400, which is where we've kind of already understood where our limitations are. So how do we do against this 26-year-old? we come out on top in a close contest. So reiterate the point and then finally move on from it. I'm so thrilled that this is now competitive. We're coming out winner, loser, tight contest. It's good. Really happy to see this. Identical on the winners, just some a little bit less on the unforced errors. Third round match now inside the top 350. This has been a little too much for us here recently. If we can get past this one, the semifinal matchup, this is the quarters. Semifinal matchup looks pretty favorable. Better options, lower ranking, meaning we could see ourselves in the final if we can squeeze past this one, and we do. 3 sets, close. We lose the first set pretty comfortably, but get it together in sets 2 and 3. This time, service going our way and not Kang. Total winners minus 20, but far fewer unforced errors. Clearly stronger player, but not somebody who is very consistent in their play style. I think for us, play style, that back and forth left to right, but not really pushing the sidelines too hard, just pushing your opponent, has paid off for us. Here is what that semifinal looks like. Somebody outside of the top 500. Again, you take that and go, okay, I think you can probably win something along those lines. I know you can't see it behind the face cam, but it's 282 and 200 for the other 2 players, including the 2 seed here in this tournament. That is going to be a very difficult ask for the final. But I'm hopeful that we can qualify for the final this time around. High serve intensity. We go for that again. And no, somebody outside of the top 500 who obviously won a lot of matches to get to this stage has beaten us 6-2, 2-6, 3-6. Nothing guaranteed. Those were a lot of balanced matches that were close contests. And yeah, we don't come away with the winner this time. Total winners with similar unforced errors, a minus 10 comparatively. The aces, the high serve intensity did work out for us, but we are not going to see the final this time around. But we make a good deep run in the tournament into June, and our next upgrade onto the Youth and Scouting Center, the campus. We've already done level 1. Level 2 is going to get us another $43,000 per month at the cost of $562. So the returns are getting less and less now that we've really established most of the financial upgrades, or at least the serious financial upgrades. But it's what's going to make everything else so much easier. Cost, there is a cost involved, right? The extra 12K, but with 44, that's a turnaround of 32,000 plus progression bonus for youths, 3%. 4 months though for the campus. It's going to take a while. So I just covered about 6 weeks in a relatively short period of time. We were out injured for a week and a half of that. We had 1 tournament in that stretch. So that gave me 3-4 weeks worth of training otherwise. And here is the progression that we have made over that stretch. First off, stamina is now up to a level 10. Just hit that one. Did not train stamina this last week, though, as we were preparing for the Roland Garros Junior tournament. I applied for both the senior tournament and the junior tournament. We didn't make it. We did not get selected. We were denied entry to the senior tournament. We might have been able to get through the qualifiers on that one or reach qualifiers. I went for the automatic, as at the time that I applied for it, we were still dominating things. Thought our ranking would continue climbing and that we would just make it in to our first, or would it be our second? I guess it would have been our second Grand Slam. First one we got in through qualifiers. This one I thought we might get in automatically, but yeah, and then everything changed. So I'm perfectly content though playing in the juniors. Will most likely be the number 1 seed entering that one, but of course that's going to come with the caveat that we're no longer the best junior out there. So I'm not sure we're going to get that far, but unlike the senior tournaments, obviously the junior tournaments, we are better matched So hopefully we'll at least get deep into that one and not just get blown out in the first or second round. But anyway, back to the progress. Tactical, on the verge, focus, both on the verge of going up to 15. But with positioning just now this week, hitting the mark, we're at 13. So we're done focusing on mental growth for a while. Physical growth, stamina still climbing, but again, just that one session where we need it. It's a heavy session, so I didn't want to put it in this week, but it's up to 10. It's climbing. It's getting there. It's not that far off now. And that means outside of the continuation of one stamina session per week, I can now begin focusing on technical attributes. For now, the return is the only one where we want it. So other things are coming. I want to begin with accuracy so that we are not mishitting balls. So we're going to focus on the accuracy first and foremost, the backhand and forehand accuracy in particular. Those will be the next areas that we'll start worrying about the serve after that. So junior Grand Slam, first round against the 67th ranked junior. Now we've got a pretty good idea where I fit in at the World Tour level, right? Somewhere around that 350 to 400 mark. We've lost to somebody outside of the top 500, but we've beaten in that 3 to 400 range. I think that's where we fit in there. But for the junior ranks, I don't know. It's a bit of a guess. It's a bit up in the air. I would imagine outside of the top 50, we're probably going to be better than all or most players outside of the top 50. But let's see. We have, first two rounds looking like Ava Shaw is going to be that first competitor, round of 16, that's going to give us a difficult time. Let's see if that's the case. That's my prediction. Yes, easy match for this first one. 6-4, 6-1. So pretty comfortable in the first round. Second round was balanced, but just barely, as in, we were fairly comfortable for this one. And yes, we are fairly comfortable. 6-2, 6-3, 45 winners to 24. Unforced errors, though, a little high, 21. But again, I'm not that technical, so it makes sense. So here is the round of 16. And yes, we do have the 14th ranked junior, 9 seed Ava Shaw for this one. This is going to be a test. Looking down, you're looking at all players. Not everybody is seeded for this, but rankings all in the top 50 outside of, just one. So by the round of 16, 15 of the 16 here are in the top 50. It's starting to get to a pretty competitive group, and I'm not sure how much further we're going to make it. We'll see what happens here in the round of 16. It's still a little early, I would say, to go into the live match. We still have 1 to 2 rounds to go, really. And we have lost. We have lost to Ava Shaw before. When was it? It was this year. So this is, I would say, after update, as it was this year. And we lost 6-2, 6-3 to her. Okay, considered to be a balanced match, as she's in better form than we are. She's been winning more often than we have recently. This could be a difficult one. But this time we come out on top. It's 6-3, 6-3. Of course, we have developed a bit from when we played her earlier this season. Total winners much higher. Unforced errors also higher, but we had enough winners to get the job done. Quarterfinal, as you would expect, it's getting tougher and tougher. Now it's the 9th ranked junior. This might be, I think, where we're at right now. We're competing against the top 10, top 15 juniors and finding it a lot more difficult than before. Winning some, losing others. This could be a time where we're losing. We'll play out semifinals and finals live if we get that far. Quarterfinals, one more pass, one more bump here to see how we're looking. Balanced match, high serve intensity. We've won all 3 times, but of course, it was a different Different game then than it is now. And we're through. We're into the semis, 6-0, 6-4. It's the first time we've even seen a set that went 6-0 in quite a while. 35 winners to 22, just 10 unforced errors. We played a little bit cleaner this time. And here's what remains in the semis. The 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds all still alive. In terms of rankings, it's 1, 2, 5, and we go head-to-head with the 6. Considered a tough match now, so our development hasn't quite caught up. And we were balanced against the 9, so I think this is more appropriately where we're at. And for a 14-year-old prodigy in the sport, makes sense to me that we are just climbing inside the top 10 of the junior rankings a year and a half into the playthrough. That feels far more accurate. This, as a tough match, should be probably Urgesi taking the win. But us being competitive, in Paris, Junior Slam, semifinal underway. Good play early on from both. That's going to go wide. Score the first point. Oh, that was out? Ooh, looked good. Looked easily in from my angle, but I don't have a good angle. I'm sure they were accurate in their assessment that it was out, but we definitely had the point if it was in. There was no way she was reaching it. Oh, with the ace, though, we're level. Someone in the comments, let me know, what is that lect? What is that? Is it French? I mean, it's not just because we're in Paris. I hear that no matter where the tournament is. So what is the? I mean, I know it means fault. Or does it mean fault? Does it translate as fault? But what language is it? And is lect? Yeah. Am I pronouncing that right? What's the spelling? Anyway, let me know. I'm curious. I'm sure I could look it up in Google Translate real quick and figure it out, but you could help me with that. I'm a little busy at the moment. We trail 1 game love, by the way. We did not win that first game, but we're up 40 love here with service in game number 2, our first service game. So we were not able to break the first game, but we easily win our first service, and we're at 1 game apiece here, so very balanced early on.
15-0.
Oh boy, that ball did not look like it was gonna hit the net. Looked like it was going over and dropping really quick, which is why it dropped and hit the net, but it looked like it was going to be an easy point for us. I say we're looking good right now. I'd say we're looking slightly better. It is so early in the game, though, to tell. That was a good ball that we just could not reach.
Second service.
Nice one.
40-30. Second service.
Oof. Thought that one might slice wide, but stayed in. That's in. Good so far. We were on the back heels, but we've evened this one out. Oh,
2 games to 1.
boy. Played right into her hand on that one.
Second
And we trail 2 games to 1. Okay, we've got ourselves
15 low.
We've got ourselves a competitive match here. It's so good to see after what we were seeing early on. It's a shame that game releases not quite where it should be at the time that it releases. And I think it turned a lot of people off, a lot of people away from the game. And it definitely hurt their second release.
30-15.
Much better now. It is much better now. And if you hadn't picked the game up earlier because of the balancing, obviously I recommend it now, because now all of the game improvements and the balancing are where they need to be. Nice with the ace. So even though we're 2 games apiece, I'd give us the edge right now. Both of her service games, the opponent, Urgesi, we have been close to breaking. Both of our service games, we've dominated.
Let.
So early indication is we are just a little bit better than Urgesi. But it's only 4 games. And on paper, she's a little bit better than us. I just like how we've played so far.
30 low.
Tactics do matter.
40
Oh.
low.
All right, speeding things up here for the rest of set number 1. As always, we make it competitive but lose when we have the chance to break, and then we take service and then just dominate. We've hardly given up a point when we've had service. And here we go again. Her service, and we get it to 40-40. She gets advantage. We get it back. We're right there. We're competitive. Finally, we break, and now it's 4-3. Now we have a real chance in this set. And for the first time with service, she's actually made it tight. We were up 40-15, but she made it tight. We do eventually win the game, and it's 5-3, and we're on the verge. Can we break again? It is set point. Oh,
Deuce.
great ace.
Out. Advantage.
Oh, a little long there.
Game.
And she takes the game real quick. Speed things back up with service. We have not lost with service yet. We've only even had the one close game when we've had service. But this is another close game. It's 40-30. Set point yet again.
Game.
And there's the game. 6-4. So first set. First set is ours. Looking good.
Second set.
Into the second set. We only broke once, but it was enough. Not able to break in the first game there, as she has given us a little more of a challenge than before with our service, but we still level. She's looking a little tougher here in the second set. We didn't offer much of a challenge with her service there, and she does. She breaks us. So there you go. Things are looking a little different here in set number 2. Fatigue, stamina is a factor. Look how tired we are here in set number 2. She, not much better off than I am. I know you can't see the bar, but it is going to start showing up behind the face cam there before too long. But we trail 4-2, and it looks like we're about to go down 5-2. We do, yes, in trouble of losing the second set. Set point.
Second service.
And this is with her breaking. Oh,
Game and second game.
okay. Second set is hers. And it's going to go the distance.
Third set.
We go to a third set. She is now confident. She has recovered a little bit. Her stamina came up, and ours is not looking so great. But we are pumped at least.
15.
Here we go, speeding it up now in set number 3. We did what we needed in set 1 in a tight contest, but set number 2, she very much looked the better player, and so far in set number 3 is up 1 game, and she looks to break us again. We battle back 30-40. No, she does break, and we're down already by 2 games in the third set. And Urgesi has really taken control of this match after we played that tight first set, just coming out on top. Down 4-1. And not looking good here with service. Come back. It's 30-30. 30-40. And down 1 game. 1 game 5. That's going to be it, folks. She is going to beat us here. So we make it to the semifinal, but go no further. We do claim 1 set, but we have reached our ceiling, at least current ability ceiling, as in top 10 junior players are a little bit too much for us. We go down 6-4, 2-6, 1-6, and we are out in the semis of the Junior Grand Slam here in Paris. Real world settles in. Honeymoon period is over. Ranking still somehow went up 7 spots, but the points haul much, much less than the previous period. The prize money, much less. Tournaments played. Here's what I'm more curious about is win rate. So we went from 73% down to 60%. Still winning. Decent amount of matches. We're still competitive, but we're definitely losing. Juniors, same deal. We went from nearly unbeatable, almost invincible, down to something a lot more realistic, winning 2/3 of our matches. All right, folks. Well, I couldn't be happier with where we're at. Uni is good and getting better. She's still young. She's now just turned 15. So they've got her birthday in the middle of June. I know why. Tied it to my wife's birthday, which was a few days ago. Well, anyway, so the now 15-year-old, 15 days ago in a few days ago in game, and actually in real life because we're in the middle of June right now anyway. Uni's progressing, but still young, still has a lot of work to do, and now finds herself not with the world is your oyster and you're going out and taking everything, winning 88% of the time, even with the recent losses. Now we're looking more like 60%, 70%, something much more realistic than before. Very excited by that because we're not just going out and dominating, which is boring. So what do we have to work on now? Well, we already talked about it with quite some detail, but obviously stamina, and now into those technical attributes. So finally going to begin focusing on bringing that along, because already she is good mentally and physically for a World Tour player. It's the technicals that still need a lot of work. She, of course, got that early jump on the career with the early balancing on the attributes. They took care of that much earlier than they took care of the match balancing. But now all of it has been fixed, has been adjusted, and I'm very happy with where we're at. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.